So our first map in the PvP, and the player smurfing it up at the top right of the map. In red is the Prime player. His ID is
Creator Prime.
Collar down today.
Yeah. Not showing off that sick collar.
And his opponent starting at the bottom left. He's starting for the Slayers team. He is
Slayers Puzzle.
The man, the myth, the puzzle. Once called Force Field Mon because of his excellent force fields in PvP especially. See what he's got up his sleeve against Creator. This map particularly is a map that Blinkstalkers are quite popular on.
Yeah, we've seen this in the WCS so many times, these Blinkstalker builds. And Puzzle and Genius, those two had to face them quite a bit. You can see that both of them are not just trying to get their gateway on 12 supply we currently have to the top left, both of them with exactly the same timings in the early game.
Yeah.
And sometimes, I mean, one of the last times that we saw this map was actually a Dark Templar play involved.
Yes, this can be quite popular because right now so many players are going for Blink. It's the most common build by far, so it's a little bit risky. You got to be very careful about Dark Templar play.
As you could just see, they faced each other already once, and the best of 3 series was decided in favor of Creator the last time that they played. So yes, we're going to find out if Puzzle is able to step it up a little bit and advance now in the winner bracket. Once again, we just want to point out that whoever wins here is actually qualified already. Yeah. So it's not only about winning the tournament, but also about qualifying, and whoever takes it has already completed this step. The loser has to fight another day in the loser's bracket.
This is true. By the way, both players taking their second gas, identical timings, but Puzzle taking his first gas just a little bit earlier, making sure to get that tech up a little bit faster. Slight risk, but in this, you know, the metagame of PvP right now, this is not really, actually I wouldn't even call it a risk, it's just one step further ahead. Both players getting the extra gate as well, so right now no variations, no corners being cut for either player.
The transition is, of course, what we are waiting for here, and I would love one of them at least to go for a Blinkstalker build. It's just so much more exciting, in my personal opinion. If you have Blinkstalkers against the Robotics Protoss, then you always have a lot of action, especially in the mid-game. The Stalker Protoss, the Blinkstalker Protoss, is kind of forced to do a lot of damage early on. He will always try to get into the main base of his opponent, do some damage, and as soon as there's an expansion involved for the Robotics player, then you have to defend so many plays at the same time, especially on Cloud Kingdom, where you with an observer can just blink up on this huge surface area and around the entire main base.
Yeah, it's almost as if you have like a Goliath versus a Wasp or something. When you have Immortals fighting against Blinkstalkers, the Immortals trying to defend, and the Stalkers always coming from different angles. They could be anywhere. You can't really see them.
And there it is.
Yeah, Puzzle going for Twilight Council first. And an extra sentry coming out for Creator. This is something he's shown oftentimes in his PvP. He really likes to make those 2 extra sentries, and he's doing it right now. This is something that has decided games in his favor because of how safe it allows him to be. But on the other hand, if you do this, your tech becomes much later. That's 200 gas sank into those sentries.
We've seen this play by Creator already against Hero, and it was actually a really crazy series. Creator, just with his defense, especially the Antigua Shipyard game, won a crazy match where Creator just defended, and then at some point was able to push out. And we are going to find out if Puzzle is a little bit better with his aggression than Creator was in this matchup. Blink is already on its way, and of course he also adds the Robotics because he needs to have this observer to make good use of the high ground. He needs the vision.
Yeah, and you know, in this case, I feel like the build order that Puzzle has chosen, with the timing is going to come with it, is going to be something that Creator actually can deal with, but it's going to take a ton of micro. Sentries obviously not very useful against Blinkstalkers. They don't do very much damage. You'll never be able to kill the Stalkers with the sentries. Even if you trap them, they can just blink out. So Puzzle can make something happen here. The question is, will he realize what's going on soon enough? Right now he has no scouting information of his opponent at all, no idea about the Nexus. He's got the Watchtower, but that's all he can see.
And the probe is coming in now to start with the forward pylon, of course. Blink is halfway done and chrono boosted once more. Additional gateways now being added, and the probe is already on the map. Will start with the first pylon in just a few seconds, and Creator doesn't see it with the Stalkers that he has.
Blind spot here. He actually cannot see this one location. This is very lucky, I guess you could say, for Puzzle, because he just can't see it.
This is a standard location for this forward pylon. This is one of the positions that he will always try to get a pylon in. I wouldn't have actually be surprised nice if Creator would have moved one of the Stalkers at some point to spot it. And even the Observer is not going to catch it, I think. No.
Yeah, he misses it. You're right. And this is just so well placed by Puzzle. He knows that Creator may just keep his Stalkers to block probes from scouting. And if he does that, right at the top of the ramp, the bottom of the ramp is going to be the weak point. And this is going to be so critical for Creator to make sure he hits his Force Shields correctly as well as his Guardian Shield right on time.
And he only has one Immortal out now. As soon as the Immortal count gets high, this is a different story. But at this point, we have 12 to 5 Stalkers. Can he blink in? Where is the Observer? The Observer is on its way. Will he be able to capitalize on this early advantage that he has here when it comes down to the aggression? Or will Creator make use of his economy and then overpower his opponent? Here come the Observers.
Oh, the Observer, he may target it. The Observer gets targeted down.
Oh my god, he loses the Observer. This is the worst case scenario for Puzzle here. Yeah. He has to wait for another Observer. He immediately started to build another one. But for this entire time, he cannot be aggressive enough.
Yeah, he's now basically half as powerful as he used to be because he can't blink in. If he warped in more sentries, he could have trapped Creator in or outside of his main base, but now he no longer has that possibility. And he's losing a lot here. He has to cancel the forward pylon. Creator is holding on pretty strong. This is his style. He defends his expansion, and he's doing it so well.
Nice force fields here, and the one Immortal goes down as a cause of it. The second one dies too, and
great targeting, yeah.
The Stalker count is 9 to 4. There is still an Immortal out on the map, but he warps in additional units, tries to get into position.
Yeah, the Zealots will trap him here a little bit. He needs to take out this Immortal. Immortal is isolated. He blinks on top of it, but the Zealots are not targeting, and it looks like Creator is actually going to be able to push this back despite the blink micro. He's even going to take out the forward pylon here.
6 to 4 Stalkers at this point in time in favor of Puzzle, but Puzzle is falling behind in supply fast. He is 10 workers down. There are 2 bases for Creator. He's saturating both mineral lines, and he's in a great position here. His income is just so much better. And Puzzle is trying to build an Nexus now. He's already so far behind the economy. Catching up will be so hard for him.
And look at this, just denying the blink into the main, not even allowing him to close this into the natural. And as soon as the Twilight Council, there it is, comes out for Creator, he will get the counter blink, and this may be checkmate for Puzzle. He needs to make something happen before then, because if he has his own blink Stalkers, there's no way Puzzle can fight him.
Exactly, this is the big problem. If you're facing a blink Stalker Protoss player as a Protoss, you can't really move out with the army composition that you have, because you just can circumvent your army, can move into the main base and do damage. But if you're able to defend and get your own blink, then you can always chase after him, then it's not a big problem for you anymore. So at this point, Creator already with a much better economy, and if he actually forces a blink or baits a blink by Puzzle into the main base and then engages with his army, Puzzle might lose everything. Yeah. He needs to be so careful.
And he was careful. I'm really pleased with how he reacted there, but he's still getting further and further behind right now. The blink is started for Creator, who now knows that he's not going to commit into the main. He comes up here, he's thinking about it, but Creator is just so on top of it. He's basically got twice as many units as Puzzle does, so he has like 2 armies that can both beat Puzzle's army, so whether he fights in the natural or fights in the main, he cannot win the fight.
Exactly. 29, now 35 army supply against 45, and this is just way too much. Creator with the economy is in such a great shape. 39 to 30 harvesters, the double saturation. Now Puzzle completed his own expansion, but he is really in a bad spot. 4 Immortals against 1.
No. And now that the counter blink is finishing up for Creator, he is just going to have all the opportunities to start moving out. He may even start a robotic support bay as he moves out. And he's starting right now. He's got half of his army in his main, but even so, his army is good enough to push Puzzle back here.
Yeah, the Immortals are just way too strong against the Stalkers, and this is something that Puzzle, of course, realizes here, moves back, and he's gonna be supply blocked. The pylon dies, the forward pylon taken out by Creator, and immediately the supply block for Puzzle. Well, Creator is now finishing his own blink and has now... It's not just moving out, you can see it on the minimap. Both armies are moving out, there's no way for Puzzle to circumvent this.
Yeah, he's basically got all of his bases covered, and with the counter blink, if Puzzle tries to blink away, he'll be ready. This pylon will be taken out, which is pretty useful for Puzzle's defense, but I mean, even if the pylon is there, the army alone of Creator may be too strong.
Army supply at this point is 69 to 46 in favor of Creator, and here comes the Prime player. He's trying to actually set up a flank.
Oh, you can force seal behind these units and trap them away from the natural. That may be what he tries to do. He's got so much sentry energy. Oh, this is such a tense moment for Puzzle. Takes out a pylon in the main.
And now moves in.
Yep. And he's just got so much.
It is way too much. Puzzle will have such a hard time defending. He's trying to warp in additional units, but the force fields are gone at the ramp, and now the rest of Creator's army is just moving up onto the high ground. And here we go, the battle is about to start, and of course the Immortal count much better for Creator, already taking down the Immortals of his opponent, and Puzzle seems to be out of luck here.
Yeah, I mean, even with 4 of the Stalkers of Creator not firing, now he moves them in, and there's just way too many Immortals here. He has vision of the high ground now. He can start to take out these Stalkers if he blinks in. The Immortals doing way too much damage, and Puzzle, like you said, man, he is out of luck. He is going to be out of game number 1. The Manor Nexus is placed
right next to the expansion of Puzzle.
GG! I never thought I'd see a day where Creator Prime